I was just fired from my marketing role. What do I do now? That is the header of today's letter to us, the Fi Guys, with the viewer mailbag. Howdy, Fi Guys. I, 29 female, just got laid off after working for a company for 9 months. Because there was a gap between expectations and deliverables, I got fired. They said that you have great energy and amazing ideas, but we never got to see it executed. Well, that's a doozy. Well, all my ideas were either rejected or asked to be put on hold until XYZ project was completed. Still, it was not completed. My role was also set up to fail. I was reporting to a person who wasn't even in the marketing department, but I had to get approvals from the VP of marketing for everything I wanted to do. I was kind of misguided about my reporting and managing times. On top of that, my goals did not ladder up to anyone else's goals, and I was even asked multiple times, what are my goals at the company? At the end, I really never had any goals defined. I agree 100% that the role was a crapshoot and that I'm glad to be out. I'm just upset about how the whole process went and how it was never given any feedback or opportunity on how to improve. I never even got put on a PIP, which is like a performance review, I'm guessing.
Yeah, performance something plan.
Okay.
Performance impact plan, I think.
Okay.
Improvement plan.
Improvement
Performance
plan. Okay. I was given tasks that I wasn't even great at and something that I had never even done before. Event planning, graphic design, etc. Yeah, she's in the marketing department, guys. I feel bad and I want to cry. Sorry about that. I don't know what to do and I'm very lost. Do you guys have any help for this on how I should deal with it? On the positive side, I got a decent severance pay. So that's kind of nice. Or severance package. Pardon me. From Marketing Maze, ideas on the go, laid off setback, but resilience I will show. I like that.
Good for you.
I like that. Yeah. The severance package is nice. That's pretty
Dude,
snazzy.
if you got a severance package, I would take that money and run.
Yeah, dude,
like
honestly. Most people don't get severance packages.
don't get anything.
Yeah,
No, they're just like deuces.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we gotta go. You gotta go. I'm like, what? So that's nice.
Yeah, no, she had a severance package, and it sounds like the job probably wasn't going to be a good long-term job anyways, especially like it sounds like there wasn't a very defined role. She didn't know who she was reporting to. Maybe they were holding her back from her ideas, but who knows, maybe her ideas weren't good ideas to begin with. Maybe it was outside the budget.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as you read that, I was thinking a lot of the book Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink.
I've heard of it, yeah.
And yeah, you've heard of it? I think it's a pretty good book.
Yeah.
We've only talked about it like 1,000 times. But in that book, he talks not only about leading other groups of people, leading your subordinates, the people below you, but also when you take extreme ownership of a job, it also means leading up the chain of command. So leading your boss and teaching your boss how to treat you. So I would say in your next role that you take on, and this is something you probably should have done in this last role, is did you ever ask for clarity about the role? Did you ever ask for what kind of deliverables were they wanting? What's the structure? Who's the chain of command that I need to report to? What are the metrics that I'm going to be gauged by? And who's going to be judging my performance? Now, yes, it is up for the company to bring that up to you, but if you're not getting that from the company, it's up to you to figure it out. Mm-hmm. Because like she said, she felt like she would just kind of bring stuff up and it would always be left by the wayside. She had no understanding as to what was going on. Well, of course, it's two-sided street, but if you take extreme ownership and you say, this is my fault and I need to fix it, mm-hmm. or this is my not my fault, but this is my problem,
yes,
and I need to fix it, you're going to look for ways to get that done. And the way that might get done is by asking your boss. Maybe she would have gone to the marketing director and say, hey, you're my like supervisor, but I'm reporting to someone who isn't inside the same department, and like bring that up to them. Because from someone who's ran a company, I can tell you that there's a lot of stuff that gets overlooked and like not even brought to the owner's attention. But once it's brought to the right person, they can start working to fix it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, that's also another great book that we should probably do a lot on. But no, 100%. I think if you don't know the goal line, if you don't know where the goalposts are, you can't score, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like Chris was saying, if you're in the marketing department and they have you doing event planning, I mean, unless it's like a small operation, like a bootstrap operation, startup maybe, or like a company of like 7 people, 5 or 6, 7 people, maybe that would make sense. But that's kind of bizarre if it's a bigger company.
Well, I can understand if you're doing marketing because like your job for marketing is to bring in more people. So doing an event for marketing, it makes sense.
Makes sense.
They make sense. So her saying like, oh, this doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
Um,
What about the graphic design part?
That's marketing.
Still marketing?
Yeah.
I guess that's true.
It's all marketing. Like everything's marketing. So all of that makes sense to me. But it sounds to me like she wasn't sure what her role was because maybe it wasn't defined well, but also she should have taken it upon herself to ask what the hell the role is.
Yeah.
And how am I going to be graded on this? And then in the future, like she needs to record her metrics, save a copy of everything that you did, put your designs into like a portfolio, take pictures of your events and your trade shows, like basically save everything you did so that you have proof that you had success. Because right now she's saying that like they said that she never had any deliverables. But right now it sounds like she just has a bunch of like mishmash things, just doing whatever the hell they told them to do. But when they ask like, what have you done for us? And of course it's a bad job on the workplace, but it's also a bad job on you for not keeping all that stuff on your own record. So you can say, this is what I brought to the company.
Yeah.
Because you're going to want that stuff regardless. Even if you left that company to go find a new company, now you have a resume or a portfolio of things. If you stay with the company and you're trying to get a promotion, now you have a list of all the things you've done. Like this is just not basic, but kind of basic stuff that you need to do when you're working for a company.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, you got to take ownership of everything that's around you, and you got to be the general and the soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have. Do you have anything else to add for them? How can they get through this?
I think it's also important to make sure that you like take a look at what you need to learn. Look at your weaknesses and look at all those things. Because she said that she was given tasks that she didn't even know how to do. Well, yeah, that's kind of the point of a job is that there's going to be given, as you're growing and learning, you raise to the level of your incompetence. So that's a good thing that you were doing things you don't know how to do. Your job is to learn how to do it and do it really, really well. That's how you continue to grow. But by sitting there and saying like, oh, I don't know how to do this, so I can't do this. Well, of course they're going to get rid of you after a while if every time they try to assign you something, you don't do it. Yeah. You have to learn, you have to grow, you have to figure it out. So look at your weaknesses, figure out what things you need to do. What can you do to contribute to make yourself a more well-rounded individual, to make yourself a better marketer, understand your own skills so that when you get to the next job, you know what these things are about and you know that you're good at doing these things, so you can have a proven track record. So what I would do if I was a listener, I would take the weekend, I'd be sad about it. Sure, be sad about it. But on Monday, you start polishing up your resume, you network, and you start spending the rest of your free time learning skills and obtaining whatever certifications, meeting people, doing whatever you need to do so that you can find a better job.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's great advice. Solid advice, really.
Yep. But look on the bright side. Like you got a severance out of it. Most people won't get that. They're just going to get kicked out of the job and just be like, and good luck. So they clearly like wanted you to succeed. They probably just didn't know how to get you there. And that is a yes to our listener. Like, I'm sorry that happened. And I'm sorry I'm being a little like rough on you because it is their fault. But once you adopt this mentality of extreme ownership that it was my fault, that's when things are going to really open up for you, because regardless of what happens in your life, it may not be their responsibility to have fixed everything, but now it's your responsibility to go find another job and make sure this doesn't happen again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's not their responsibility to get you another job.
No. You wouldn't want a job from them anyway.
Probably not.
Probably not.
But yeah, I mean, take a look at it, say like, hey, I got out of a bad situation and I learned something important that I'm going to take onto my next job to not make the same mistake.
Yeah.
A lot of life is failing forward.
Yes, very much so. Failing forward, guys. Yeah. Just got to keep moving. Got to keep the momentum going. Yeah, I think with that being said, I hope that helps you. Good luck finding another
big
job.
Hugs from Arizona. Yeah. Good luck finding another job. The Fi Guys, we are looking for marketing people, but maybe more graphic design stuff. If you're good with that, we're good with Canva, hit us up.
Absolutely.
Maybe we can figure out some new stuff for thumbnails. This video podcast is sponsored by Monzon Wealth. The content in this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. We do not endorse specific products or services. Past performance does not guarantee future results. The opinions expressed are those of the host and guests, not the podcast sponsor.
It is crucial to consult with a qualified financial advisor or professional who can provide advice tailored to your specific needs before making any financial decisions, investments, or taking any other actions. If you are seeking specified help, you can reach out to Chris at monzonwealth.com.